My in-laws are obsessed with me. Episode 69. Come to think of it, about what we discussed a while back. Have you looked into Princess Dodolea?
You want to know? When you received the letter from Princess Dodolea at the academy, you said there was something odd about her, right? You said she was different from the princess you remembered in your past life.
I did.
When you asked me to marry you at first, I found it rather odd. You said I was supposed to marry the seventh princess, did you not?
I can't believe he remembers that.
There may be other reasons as to why my marriage partner has changed, but I did carry out an investigation, under the assumption the princess died from our blood and came back to life.
Do you mean to say that the princess died from poison?
There's no reason to poison her, since she's far back in line to the throne. Perhaps she's been gathering poison herself. She was sick for quite a long time, after all.
Oh. I had no idea someone who's long been bedridden might think that way. No wonder. My father also resorted to strong medicine, although it wasn't poison.
It isn't entirely impossible if she died during the period of exception. Everyone who died in this period seems to have memories of their past life. Period of exception. Early spring, end of festival, assassin at the parade. You died in the countdown. Full bloom, Islet died at Jen's house presumed dead from seizures conditions same as others. Those who died of poison came back in time. To this point poison doesn't work on them anymore, and they hold memories of the past. I don't know exactly when you went back in time. But when I looked into the princess, I found nothing strange, except for the fact she miraculously woke up in bed. And while taking care of Jen's deed, I looked into the list of buyers, but there was nothing about the princess, or those who are related to her or her whereabouts. That's why I decided to look at this from a different angle. I've been looking for different cases since I heard you and Islet came back to life. Cases of those who came back in time. They must have experienced déjà vu regarding their situation, surroundings, and even the seasons. They must have done something they otherwise wouldn't have to avoid death when it drew near. I secretly asked all the residence managers of my cousin's estates to tell me if there was anyone acting strangely last spring. The doctors who had left earlier are also cooperating. It does seem rather foolish to rely on such superstitious matters, but when the results come in.
Mom, Your Grace. Is now an okay time? I have something I'd like to discuss. A friend invited me to his house. Could you both kindly join me?
A friend invited Selfie over?
Are you sure this is all right?
Of course, it's just for a moment, is it not? Focus, Pereshati. This is more important than family matters or a ball. We're going to be seeing another family as parents.
Viscount Otiz. Viscountess Otiz.
Welcome, Your Graces.
Marvin Otiz. Hey, Celsius.
You've already met my husband and son, haven't you? First, let us show you to our dining room.
So, that's how we came to have a small parental gathering.
Marvin said we absolutely must invite Cepheus. Thank you for coming today.
I was wondering who Marvin took after, and he looks just like the both of you. And his cleverness too. I've heard a lot about you.
Oh my. I'd like to say the same thing about Cepheus. Since spring, our Marvin has only been talking about him.
About what you discussed before. We're going to send the official documents soon.
Would that be enough?
Yes, all the consuls know about the newspaper. Elias is a very influential city, after all. And it's a cultural city that's captured the interest of societies all over the world. More importantly, there were articles claiming that the empire is seizing land rather impractically, and consuls from protected states seem to agree. I'm not particularly against that claim either, but there's a party held at an embassy within the empire. It would cause quite the scene if His Majesty hears of this.
Must you keep discussing work here, dear?
But the children are in the other room. This is our house and it's safe here. It's efficient in many ways to discuss it now that we have the chance.
Honey, work is the only thing you discussed even while we were dining with the children. As parents, we took this time to meet on this fine weekend. Must you truly discuss such solemn matters here?
You're right.
You're making our guests feel uncomfortable. They aren't talking or even making eye contact.
My sincerest apologies.
I truly apologize.
What should we do?
It's fine. Isn't that right, Pereshati?
His smile looks so awkward. Indeed.
Let us show you to Marvin's room.
They seem to be happily married. This is exactly why I was worried about meeting another family.
We might seem rather strange in their eyes.
Oh. I mean. Is this all right?
Your Grace, you're so fortunate to have such beautiful pink hair.
Pardon?
Well, pink hair is rather rare.
Is that so?
And everyone in society marvels at your beauty. Read any recent newspaper and you'll see the press is on your side. So please don't trouble yourself over the trial.
The trial. Newspapers? So he knew. But why didn't he ever give me a hint?
Mom,
Selfie, that's.
It's fine. It's a gift. This is nothing compared to the reading desk and ancient books you gave us, but we look forward to seeing you again.
Is this right? I feel like I mustn't grow used to this.
My, what a lovely family.
They're very agreeable too. I'm glad to have found good friends.
Episode 70.
I got this as a gift yesterday. A world map. The new edition isn't officially released yet, but they gave it to me before it came out. What do you think? Is that a good thing? Of course. This is our empire, and we're at about right here. But why are they all colored differently? Orange is our country, and those in yellow are states protected by our empire. They say it's mostly thanks to the former Grand Duke. And here? Oh, shorts. It's ours now, thanks to the current Grand Duke who won the battle. Huh. But why is this place colored differently from other protected states? Is it because it's a new edition? I also wanted to go with you, selfie. Huh? Why? Don't you enjoy spending time with Lord Phineas? He only makes me study.
I shall deliver it to the former Grand Duchess.
Next time, take me with you. Okay.
Trial reveals truth behind Count Zahart's death. Following the trial on the death of Count Lewin Zahart, Lillian Lopez, late Count Zahart's former wife, was found guilty of murdering her former husband. The court ruled he did not die of illness. Lopez was sentenced to 35 years of hard labor in the convent. She was also forbidden to use the name Zahart. She had been dishonored as never before, as there has not been a single noble lady who was stripped of her family name after a trial. There needs to be a revisit to the prior flyer report claiming that Grand Duchess Lapillion has abandoned her knight bachelor lover for the sake of power. There is a common idea among most nobles, middle class, and commoners alike that the Grand Duchess must have hastened the marriage with the Grand Duke to escape from her family after bearing doubts about her father's mysterious death. Meanwhile, a few months ago, the Grand Duchess donated the profit she raised from the fundraising auction to an orphanage belonging to the church. Journalist AHS. It's the same journalist who wrote the flyer from before. It's the same person. But why the sudden change of heart?
And the Grand Duchess figured this out?
Yes. This is about the maid we discussed a while back. You also gave approval. She said you had the authority to decide what to do with this, since you've given faith in her regarding this matter. She must have sent the maid to work at young master's residence to find out about this from the very beginning. According to the report, most servants in that residence are unwelcoming and lazy. They haven't transferred working locations thus far, which could be one of the reasons. They also overtly talked ill of young master, and they were very discreet in a way. They were especially careful during inspection. They even said, we wouldn't know unless we went deep inside. And thinking young master grew up listening to such things.
No wonder he reacted that way. When I heard of it at first, I let it go, merely thinking that maid grew sensitive to the fact that the Grand Duchess would be leaving. But Pereshati raised question on that part, I see. I was wondering how she would make use of that maid. But she made me realize I should have seen this from a different angle from the start. I feel ashamed of myself. So this is why Selfie came to the capital. and had an outburst towards servants. Change the servants in Selfie's residence with those working at Crips's house. As for the punishment, follow the clause written right below the confidentiality clause.
Oh yes, Your Grace. The punishment would be exempting payment besides bed and board, stripping them of their family's house provided by the Grand Dukedom, having them followed, and compensation worth 7 years of their wage. We shall do as written, Your Grace.
They won't be able to quit until they compensate in full, as we won't recommend them to work anywhere else. And we'd be tailing each of them. They'd know it's their loss to quit.
We shall have to move all the servants in the rest of the family's residence. From now on, change the working location of all the servants every 3 years. Pereshati helped us learn this lesson. We must prevent this from ever happening again. And it's true we haven't taken good care of Selfius. Pereshati seems to care a lot about Selfie.
Oh, young master is also very fond of Her Grace.
And how are things between her and Theo?
Your Grace? Well, as usual. Perhaps we could do something.
It's fine.
Her Grace asked whether to make the 2 maids sent to the stable come back once the rest of the servants return from vacation. Would you approve, Your Grace?
Yes.
The flyer. The Grand Duke said it was to vilify the Grand Dukedom, not me. And I thought my stepmother made them write that article. The second Grand Duchess chooses the power of the Lapillians over love with a knight bachelor. There needs to be a revisit to the prior flyer report claiming that Grand Duchess Lapillian has abandoned her knight bachelor lover for the sake of power. There is a common idea among most nobles, middle class, and commoners alike that the Grand Duchess must have hastened the marriage with the Grand Duke to escape from her family after bearing doubts about her father's mysterious death. Meanwhile, a few months ago, the Grand Duchess donated the profits she raised from the fundraising auction to an orphanage belonging to the church. I never knew that journalist would write a positive article about me. So who wrote the flyer? First, let's solve my own problem. During trial, Princess Dodolea was the one to hire the lawyer for my stepmother. And I'm sure the princess is also in charge of the convent where my stepmother would be working in. And I heard Reina is still working for her. I don't understand why she'd go that far for a mere lady-in-waiting, but I should take a closer look at those around Reina. Let's discuss this with the Grand Duke first, then contact my uncle and...
Greetings, Your Grace.
Addius?
Oh. His Grace has asked for you, you say?
And how's your arm?
I'm fine, Your Grace.
Why am I always surrounded by frail men?
Does His Grace count too?
So what business does he have with you? Is something the matter?
Well, he found out about the article I wrote at Elias. And the article I recently wrote at the capital, too. I didn't think His Grace would find out so soon. Actually, I'm that journalist.
What? Episode 71. A journalist? And you're on your way back?
Yes, we just finished our talk.
Do you attend parties to get insights for your articles?
Well, going there helps me learn a lot. If there's anything you'd like to know, please, don't hesitate to ask. I felt the same when I last visited, but it is rather spacious in here. It really flies in the face of the rumors that say House Lapillion is closed off and unsociable. I wonder how much it took to build such a place. Oh. I'm rather interested in the Lapillions, you see.
Yes, I can tell.
The Grand Duke is a man of prestige and the Emperor's closest confidant, and yet His Grace stayed only inside his manor. It's rather surprising that he's staying in the capital for so long. Actually, I ran into His Grace's former wife by chance, and she told me something rather odd. She constantly sent letters of proposal about 3 years ago and succeeded in winning his hand, which is all fairly well known. And then, well, as you might well know, the marriage after that was…
No, I do not know. Why are you telling me this?
Please do not get upset. After the marriage, she moved into the Grand Duke's manor, but she was isolated in the annex from day one, left all alone. He neither tried to see her, nor did he treat her like a person.
He seems rather flustered.
She said she lost any will to go on with the marriage. But then again, I only believe half of it, since it's only one person's claim. She has now gone back to her family's lands. She no longer partakes in social gatherings, so there's no way to hear news of her anymore.
I just meant I don't want to hear of it anymore. I took you to be more perceptive than that. Is it a habit of yours to talk of other people's personal affairs like this?
Oh. I thought this might be of help with your married life, so…
You should know this is inappropriate, including what happened at the last party.
To be honest, I think you're the most difficult person for me to read, Your Grace. I cannot tell if you're doing this because you're fond of His Grace, or if you're drawing the line because you're not interested in him.
Surely, I'm not obliged to answer that question. Farewell. Do you have a moment? I ran into Addius just now. It's because of the article from Elias, is it not? About the claim that the Empire is trying to expand their territory through war. Are you in a difficult situation? Is it because of the fact you went to war with Schwartz?
You wrote an article again. You should have changed your name at least, just like how you did in Elias. And didn't I warn you already, with the flyers? I do have my assumptions about what you want, but that's enough as it is. If you're trying to use the Grand Duchess, stop. She has nothing to do with what I do.
I don't understand why you're getting so upset. I wrote a rather positive article about her this time.
Do you seriously believe I don't know your true intentions? Tell that to the mastermind behind this. That's not the only reason why I called him here. Addius is the Crown Princess's confidant. But then, that's not an accurate description. Still, that's as far as you should know. I think they're mutually cooperating. He wrote the article in Elias not purely out of his will, but because of the Crown Princess. Since her position in the palace is still unstable, she's trying to make such matters public to gather those against the Emperor. Polluting the atmosphere around the Empire itself is a success on her part.
But the rumors say that Addius is her lover.
The Crown Princess calculates everything from her outfit to her makeup. And she looks older than her actual age because that's her intention. She joins parties and public gatherings with good-looking nobles to strengthen her political foothold. And since she sponsors Addius, it'd be more convenient that he's rumored to be her lover.
I see. That's a rather kind explanation. Thank you for the explanation.
I thought you had the right to know, since the flyers criticizing our family exposed you to the rumors.
It's fine. I expected as much before marrying you.
I see.
As for the matters about Reina, let's ask Uncle or my friends instead. This tea is rather bitter. You gave me this on purpose, didn't you? But still, thanks to that.
Please excuse me. What, may I come in?
Oh, of course.
The priests have come to visit.
Greetings, your graces. We came about the partnership you offered us.
That feels like ages ago.